This is the Northeast Regional Shropshire Show. Our judge today is Gary Saylor of Bell Center, Ohio. Gary is the claims supervisor for Agra Sampo North American Crop Insurance. He's also an auctioneer and managing partner of Select Livestock Services. In his spare time, Gary is the assistant shepherd for Little Oaks Livestock Natural Colors with his grandchildren. Let's welcome Gary Saylor to your Shropshire Show.
Well, good morning. Certainly a beautiful morning, and we're in the barn showing sheep, and and it was especially satisfying for a Yankee fan to sit at Theodore's last night amongst a bunch of Red Sox fans and get a win. Anyways, looking forward to your regional Shropshire show today, and nice class of yearling rams to kick off today's shows. We've got some differences in these bucks, and we'll talk about them a little bit. Really a nice handling ram to start the class with. I like this buck down. He's top. He's flat and level out through that hip. Really moves really good throughout the ring. Maybe not quite as nice in his head as our second place ram. I really like the head and the Shropshire breed character on this second place ram. A little more upstanding ram in our second place ram. He gets a little straight off of his rear legs for me today. I'm going to be a little critical of that, but certainly a nice ram. He's good on his feet. I'd just like to change him a little bit off of those rear hocks to get him to compete with this ram above him. Not quite as thick about his muscling as our first place ram today, but I think we've got two really nice rams with some stud ram potential here in first and second. Our third place ram, a little smaller statured ram. Again, a ram, I'd like to change him a little bit structurally off of his rear legs and just give him a little more size and thickness to compete with these two bucks ahead of him. Nice class of yearling rams to kick off your show. Congratulations.
Next class is Senior Ram Lambs, placing on the Yearling Ram class for our Northeast Regional Shropshire Show. First place go in open and in the junior show goes to entry 673, City Limits 24022. Connor Priest, Ludlow, Massachusetts. That ram weighing 288. Second place to entry 674, Hallett 441, Daytona. Britt Hallett, Sterling, Massachusetts. That ram weighing 303. And third place to 675, Attica Lockup, Mandy Curtis, Attica, New York. That ram weighing 219.
There's two entries in your senior Ram Lamb class this morning, and we're going to start with a ram that's really big about his bone work. He's a thicker, heavier, muscled ram than our second place ram. Really like that about him. Smooth made ram here in second. He's just more refined in his features and doesn't have quite the thickness that we've got in this first place ram. This is the way we like him today. Congratulations.
Placing on the Senior Ram Lamb class, first place goes to entry 676, Triple J 241, Triple J Farm, Larry and Sharon Larimore, Harrington, Delaware. That ram weighed 260. Second place to 677, Convict 1637, Attica Lockup, Mandy Curtis, Attica, New York. That ram weighing 165.
Your show for your senior champion ram, and that today's Shropshire show. These four rams really rams that are correct enough in my estimation. They have some really good traits about them. I'm going to go ahead and using our two yearling rams for senior and reserve senior champion. Two rams that I said in class exhibit some stud ram qualities for me. I think they're well deserving. They'll be senior and reserve senior champions. Congratulations.
Open show senior champion ram goes to entry 673 out of the yearling ram class. City Limits 24022. Connor Priest, Ludlow, Massachusetts. The reserve senior champion was second in that yearling class. Entry 674, Hallett 441, Daytona. Britt Hallett, Sterling, Massachusetts. We do have sponsors for each one of our classes today in the Shropshire Show. The yearling ram class was sponsored by Titan Feeds, Chris Withington. Also, Chris Withington with Titan Feeds sponsored the senior ram lamb class. And he will also be sponsoring the January ram lamb class. Again, we are in our Northeast Regional Shropshire Show. Shropshires originated in the central portion of western England, likely from crosses between the area's native black-faced sheep and South Downs, Leicesters, and Cotswolds. When the elements of these various breeds were fused together, the Shropshire breed was born around 1848. The breed gained popularity rapidly, and they were first exhibited in a special class for short-wooled sheep at the Royal Show in Gloucester in 1833. Shropshires were first imported into the United States in about 1855. The popularity and expansion of the Shropshire breed in the United States began in the late 1800s and continued into the 1930s, when Shropshires were easily the most popular and most influential breed in the United States.
Really a nice package to start this particular class off. This guy just kind of jumps out and dominates this class. Well, when you get on top of this guy is when you really appreciate him. He's really straight, true down through that top. He has a nice expression of muscling, really good about his bone work, nice on his feet and legs. I think there's a pretty nice individual to start this class. Ram Lamb is second to follows in real nicely behind our class winner. Another buck that's really good about his bone work. I like this ram on his feet and legs. He's blown apart a little more in his front third of his body than I would like to see compared to that first place ram, but he's really thick down through his top, really thick out through his hip. He's just a nice fit for me here in second place today. little lighter muscled ram here in third place. I really like the pattern on this guy. When you stand back and look at him from the profile, he has really got some good lines about him. He's clean up through his front end. He's just not quite as far along in his maturity right now as some of the other bucks in the class. Here's a really nice pattern ram. I'm going to use him in the third hole today. Another ram here in fourth place. I really like him for his overall length down that spine. Really good bone work, really good on his feet and legs. He's not as thick in his top as a couple lambs to win this class. I'm going to use him in 4 today. Another nice ram there. Little bigger bodied ram here in fifth place. Little coarser about his structure. Not quite as nice up through his front third, through his chest floor, and up through that head and neck region. But I really like the thickness of top in this buck. I think he's worthy of a top 5 finish. Really nice class. Congratulations.
Next class will be February Ram Lambs. February Ram Lambs, next class to the ring. Placing on the Shropshire January class of Ram Lambs, first place to entry 697, Clark 2531. Brady Clark in Gilmanton, New Hampshire. That ram weighing 210. Second place to entry 684, Clark 2536. Porter Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. That ram weighing 209. Third place to 679, Attica Lockup, Mandy Curtis, Attica, New York. That ram weighing 175. 4 to entry 683, Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. 5 to entry 678, Triple J Farm, Larry and Sharon Larimore, Harrington, Delaware. 6th place to entry 685, Triple J Farm, Larry and Sharon Larimore, Harrington, Delaware. 7 to entry 682, William T. Weston, Hancock, New Hampshire. 8 to entry 681, also William T. Weston, Hancock, New Hampshire. 9th place to 686, B.W. Webster, Windham, Maine. In this February Ram Lamb class, our sponsor for this class is Ledyard Regional FFA Chapter. So here's your first Shropshire trivia question. In 2015, 10 years ago, Colby Clark of New Hampshire was dominant in the Shropshire show at the Big E for the last 10 or so years, and so was the case in 2015. He'd been dominant all that time. However, another breeder from Delaware won 4 classes and had the Reserve Grand Champion Ram, Grand Champion Ewe, Supreme Champion Shropshire. So who was that Delaware breeder? And I think we had a few people answer that correctly. It was Triple J Farm, the Larimores.
Really a good class to sort through, and we have a lot of differences up here in this top 3, but they're the 3 bucks that surface to the top in terms of overall correctness and completeness about them. And we'll talk about their differences here a little bit. This first space buck, certainly he jumps out and gets your attention right away when he commands the show ring. Really long down his top. He's adequate about his thickness. He comes with some bells and whistles you want to see in a show buck. Really attractive and pretty to look at in the ring. He has a little bit of a size advantage today, but with that size, he just has so many good features about him. He's just going to win our class today. Our second place buck, a little thicker made buck, a little more conventional type sheep. Really like the bone work on this guy. A tremendous amount of thickness when you handle him down his top. He's a little more bold up through his front end than that first place buck. That's the way he's made. He's not as extended up through his front end as that first place buck. That's the way he's made, but this is the way I like this pair today. Another nice ram here is our ram in third. He's given up some length when I view him from the profile, but boy, you sure like this guy up through his front end. You love his bone work. He's really good on his feet and legs. There's a nice buck that's not quite as far along in his maturity as a couple of the bucks ahead of him. Be interesting to see what he does on down the road. A little lighter muscled ram here in fourth place. You like the length of top in this buck. You like the bone work about him. He's not quite as nice out through his hips. He's not quite as heavy and muscled as these first three rams in the class, but I really like him from an attractive standpoint up through that front 1/3 of his body. Our fifth place ram, another ram that has some nice bone work about him. I just need to, for the size of this buck, I'd like to thicken him up a little bit, square him up over that dock to get him to compete with these first four rams in class. Excellent class. Congratulations.
Placing on that February Ram Lamb class, first place and open first in the junior show goes to entry 688, KJ Buckland 2511, Kenyon Buckland, Huntington, Indiana. That ram weighing 205. Second place to 691, Clark 2554, Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. That ram weighing 198. Third, second in the junior show to 693, San Meadow 2552, Addison and Oliver Nicholson, Ellington, Connecticut. That ram weighing 166. Fourth place, third in the junior show to 689, Robin Cornegay, Groton, Connecticut. Fifth place to entry 692, B.W. Webster, Windham, Maine. Sixth place to 690, Attica Laka, Mandy Curtis, Attica, New York. Fourth in the junior show to 700, Connor Priest, Ludlow, Massachusetts. Fifth in the junior show to 694, Philomena Jarris, Cummington, Massachusetts. Sponsor of our March Ram Lamb class for the Shropshire show is Titan Feeds, Chris Withington.
Just 3 entries in your March Ram Lamb class this morning, and really a good one to start the class with. Rammer really liked his bone work about him, but boy, when you analyze him down through his top, you really don't need to put your hands on him. What you see is what you get. He's straight and true as could be, goes out into a flat level hip. Nice expression of muscling about this guy when I see him walk through the show ring. I think he wins the class real handily for me today. A long-bodied ram here in second place, not quite as far along in his muscle development. He's not quite as big a bone as this first ram, but in terms of overall length of body, I like him better than our third-place ram today. Our third-place ram's a smooth-bodied ram. He's given up some length as compared to the 2 rams above him. A little finer about his bone work than the other 2 rams in the class, but certainly a nice, correct individual here in third. Congratulations. Oh, is that right? Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, he's got good lines about him. So, he's just fine. They can take care of that. Yeah.
Next class will be our pair of Ram Lamb class.
Oh, is that right?
Sponsor of the pair Ram Lamb class is Titan Feeds, Chris Withington.
Okay. Okay, yeah. All right, you bet.
Placing on the March Ram Lamb class, first place goes to entry 699, Clark 2592, Porter Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. That ram weighing 164. Second to 696, Convict 1696, Attica Lockup, Mandy Curtis, Attica, New York. That ram weighing 146. And third place to entry 701, Britt Hallett, Sterling, Massachusetts. That ram weighing 119. Following our pair of Ram Lamb class, your next class will be for Open Show Junior Champion and Reserve Junior Champion Ram. Placing on the pair of Ram Lambs, first place goes to Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. Second to Porter Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. Third place, Triple J Farm, Larry and Sharon Larimore of Harrington, Delaware. 4 to Attica Lockup, Mandy Curtis, Attica, New York. 5 to B.W. Webster, Windham, Maine. And 6th place to William T. Weston, Hancock, New Hampshire. Again, now showing for junior champion and reserve junior champion ram. Mandy Curtis, we need your 2nd place out of that March Ram Lamb class out to show for junior champion in reserve.
Really a good set of Shropshire Ram Lambs in your junior champion drive here. Just a lot of potential out here for down the road and what these guys can do for this breed. Is there some differences out here? Sure, but that's good. Breeds should have differences. That gives people some differences to select and fix some problems that they need to fix. So variety is a good thing when you're breeding sheep. I think we've got 2 of them out here that really surfaced to the top for me today, and looking at these rams and deciding who has the fewest faults. Or believe me, I've been raising sheep all my life, and I haven't found that perfect one yet. Found some that were close, but haven't found that one that just hit everything perfect. I think we've got 2, once again, that really surface to the top here, and we'll go out and select your junior champion. Congratulations. Let's give these exhibitors a round of applause for bringing you a good set.
Open Show Junior Champion Ram goes to our class winner from the January Ram Lamb class, 697, Clark 2531, Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. The reserve champion junior goes to our first place from the February class, 688. KJ Buckland, 2511, Kenyon Buckland, Huntington, Indiana. We're now ready to show for Open Show Grand and Reserve Grand Champion Ram. Again, we're showing for Grand and Reserve Grand Champion Ram. The winner of the Grand Champion Ram will receive a revolving trophy in memory of Peter Harris, sponsored by the Northeast Shropshire Breeders. Also, the Grand Champion Ram class is sponsored by Titan Feeds, Chris Withington. The Reserve Champion Ram class, also sponsored by Chris Withington of Titan Feeds. Following selection of our Grand Champion Open Ram and Reserve Grand, we will show for Junior Show Champion Ram and Reserve.
Wow, really good lineup out here for your champion Shropshire Ram Drive. Four just really, really good rams with a lot of positive traits about them for this breed. I couldn't be any more satisfied before the show. I never thought I would see bucks of this caliber. So really happy with what we've got out here, and if this is any indication, your female show is going to be really, really strong. Really, we could go a number of ways here. I've got two rams that really, I thought excelled everything else today, and we'll go out and name them champion and reserve. Congratulations to all exhibitors out here in your Grand Champion Drive.
Open Show Grand Champion Ram goes to entry 697. Open Show Grand Champion goes to entry 697, our Junior Champion Ram. Out of the January class, Clark 2531, Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. The Reserve Grand Champion to 688, our Reserve Junior Champion from the February Ram Lamb class, KJ Buckland 2511, Kenyon Buckland, Huntington, Indiana. Again, our next class is for Junior Show Champion and Reserve Champion. These will receive banners sponsored by the Northeast Shropshire Association.
for your champion of your junior show. Of course, our reserve overall wins this real easy. Congratulations. That's a really nice ram. He'll be your junior show champion. For reserve, it becomes a little closer. I'm going to go ahead. I think this ram come out of the strongest class we've had today. He's going to be your reserve junior champion, that Ram Lamb. Congratulations.
Junior show champion ram goes to entry 688 out of the February Ram Lamb class, KJ Buckland 2511, Kenyon Buckland, Huntington, Indiana. The reserve junior show champion ram went to entry 693, also out of that February class, San Meadow 2552, Oliver and Addison Nicholson, Ellington, Connecticut. Next class is Best Headed Ram. Best Headed Ram will be your next class. The Northeast Shropshire Breeders Association sponsors awards for this class. Best Headed Ram goes to entry 674 from the yearling ram class, Hallett 441, Daytona. Britt Hallett, Sterling, Massachusetts. Sponsor of this Class 1 yearling ewes is Sand Meadow Farm, the Nicholson family.
What a good class of Shropshire yearling ewes to work through, and this what makes my job fun. So be able to pick these sheep apart, and there's a lot of females out here I really like, and I think there's a lot of females that are going to go on and really do good in some programs. And boy, this ewe that wins this class, you get your hands on her top, she's just phenomenal. She just wide over through that rack. She carries it right back through her hip. But yet when you put her in motion, what I like about her, she holds that front end probably better than any ewe in the class. Really elegant about the way she moves about that ring. Really like that ewe to start this particular class. Congratulations. Another pretty profiling ewe is this second place ewe. Clean up through that front shoulder. She's adequate in her thickness. She doesn't have the bone work as our first place ewe in class, but there is another really nice long handling, long hind saddled ewe here in second place. Congratulations. Little thicker made ewe, if you will, here in third place. Smooth as could be down through her top. She's given up a notch of length compared to the first two ewes in class, but another ewe, you like her for her broodiness, you like her for her rib shape. I think there's a nice female right there in my estimation. Congratulations, that's another nice ewe. Little ewe here in fourth place that's not quite as far along as the other ewes in class. A little lighter about her muscling. I like the bone work about this ewe. I like her overall length. Just need to get a little more gas in her tank at this stage compared to the three ewes above her. Really another nice ewe in fourth place. The ewe gave me a little bit of a trouble out here in the top five is the one that ends up in the 5 hole. At one point I had this ewe maybe up as high as third. But when I see her move about the ring, she's pretty bold through that chest floor. She doesn't tie in quite as nice from her front shoulders. As we move on back to her rack and loin, we're going to have to put her in the 5 hole today, which is a pretty good place in this stout class. Congratulations, girls.
Next class is our second class of yearling ewes, Class 2 yearling ewes. These ewes were born between February 5th and March 16 of 24. Placing on Class 1 yearling ewes, first place goes to entry 720, Clark 2464, Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire, that ewe weighing 239. Second place, first in the junior show, to 713, Sand Meadow 2442, Addison and Oliver Nicholson, Ellington, Connecticut, that ewe weighing 217. Third place to entry 711, Attica Lockup, Mandy Curtis, Attica, New York, that ewe weighing 210. Fourth place to entry number 716, Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. Fifth place to entry 715, Triple J Farm, Larry and Sharon Larimore, Harrington, Delaware. Sixth place, second in the junior show, to 721, Sand Meadow, 2450, Addison and Oliver Nicholson, Ellington, Connecticut. Third in the junior show, to entry 722, Taylor Ruto, Colchester, Connecticut. Eighth place to entry 719, Porter Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. Ninth place to entry 710, Will Weston, Hancock, New Hampshire. And 10th place to 712, Attica Lockup, Mandy Curtis, Attica, New York. '11th place Went to entry 717, Triple J Farm, Larry and Sharon Larimore, Harrington, Delaware. 12th place, fourth in the junior show to Connor Priest, Ludlow, Massachusetts. 13 and fifth in the junior show to 731, Brendan Pym, Bergen, New York. Class 2 yearling news. Our class sponsor for this is Sand Meadow Farm, the Nicholson family. So here's the second Shropshire trivia question. In 2010, that's 15 years ago, who was the New York breeder with first place yearling ram, first slick-shorn intermediate ram lamb, first slick-shorn junior ram lamb, first place in the breeder's flock, and first in the get of sire?
Another good class of females to sort through. Probably not quite the depth we had in our earlier yearling U class, but certainly a lot of quality, especially up here in the top end, the top 5. Really complete, flashy type of female that wins this class for me today. Super correct on her feet and legs. She's got that real clean front end about her. She's just easy on the eyes when you step back and analyze her. I think she wins the class pretty handy for me today. Congratulations. That's a nice ewe. Real thick topped ewe here in second place. Like the bone work on this female. Tremendously thick when you handle her over that rack and clear out through that hind saddle. She just carries it all the way to her tail head. That's another nice ewe here in second place. Maybe a little smaller package than we've got in our first place ewe, but certainly a lot of good quality parts in that female. One that follows in here in third, real close to our second place ewe. She's a little heavier up through her front end for me today than our second place ewe. Really like the thickness of this female. She's real expressive about her muscling. I think she's just a really good fit for me in third place today. A little bigger framed ewe here in fourth place. A ewe that I'd like to give her a notch more bone work. I really like the length about this ewe. She's not as thick down her top as those first 3 ewes in the class, but a ewe that offers me a lot of length, really a nice headed ewe. Just like to give her a little more thickness, a little more bone work to get her to move up any higher. Another well extended ewes are ewe here in fifth place. Love this female up through her front end. I just like to straighten her out over that tail head a little bit. She's not nearly as square and as thick out through that hip area as we've got in the ewes above her in this class, but certainly a little larger frame ewe with a pretty profile to her. Congratulations.
Next class will be pair of yearling ewes. The pair yearling ewe class is sponsored by Call Shropshires and Call. Well, the answer to our previous trivia question from 15 years ago about that New York breeder with first place finishes in the yearling ram class, Slickshorn intermediate ram lamb, Slickshorn junior ram lamb, and first in the breeder's flock and get of sire was Emily Washburn. Placing on class number 2 of our yearling ewes, first place in the open and in the junior show goes to entry 734. City limits 24102. Kenyon Buckland, Huntington, Indiana, with a ewe weighing 200 pounds. Second place to 735. Clark, 24115. Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. That ram ewe weighing 197. Third place to entry number 728, Clark, 2491, Porter Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire, that ewe weighing 214. Fourth place to 733, Britt Hallett, Sterling, Massachusetts. 5 to 7:30, Britt Hallett. 6th place to 7:26, Trumbull Agri-Science, Trumbull, Connecticut. 7th place to 7:25, Will Weston, Hancock, New Hampshire. 8th place to entry 7:38, Dylan Harris, Ludlow, Massachusetts. 9 to entry number 724, Will Weston, Hancock, New Hampshire. 10, second in the junior show to 727, Jarris, 2411, 0195, Philomena Jarris, Cummington, Massachusetts. 11th place to entry and third in the junior show to 736, Brendan Pym, Bergen, New York. And 12, fourth in the junior show to 729, Philomena Jarris, Cummington, Massachusetts. Placing on the pair of yearling U class, first place goes to Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. Second place to Mandy Curtis of Attica, New York. Third to Addison and Oliver Nicholson, Ellington, Connecticut. 4 to Porter Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. 5th place to Larry and Sharon Larimore, Harrington, Delaware, Triple J Farm. 6th place to Britt Hallett, Sterling, Massachusetts. Seventh place, Will Weston, Hancock, New Hampshire. Eighth place, Brendan Pym, Bergen, New York. 9 to Philomena Jarras, Cummington, Massachusetts. Now ready for senior ewe lambs. Now showing senior ewe lambs. The sponsor of this class is Ledyard Regional FFA Chapter.
Really a nice class of senior ewe lambs, just not many of them, but 3 ewe lambs that are really good, and they really have a good show ring presence. We got one that just jumps up real easy for me and wins this class. I really like this ewe lamb's front third. She's just real clean up through her shoulder. She's very well extended. Yes, she shows me some rib shape to her, a good round ribbed ewe that looks like she's just going to go on and work and work and work in the brood ewe flock. I really like that one that wins the class. Another nice lamb here in second place. She's not quite as rugged about her bone work as that first place ewe lamb. She's really good and true down her top when you see her walk about the ring. Where she wins out over our third place ewe lamb, she's just a little more square and level out through that dock, carries that thickness right out to her tail head. Really like that one in second place too. Another nice ewe lamb in third, a ewe that's got a lot of flash to her. She's maybe more extended up through her front end than our second place ewe. She just doesn't carry that thickness all the way back from her hooks to her pins like our second place ewe. A really good class of 3. Congratulations.
We're now ready to show for open show senior champion and reserve senior champion ewe. Placing on the Senior U Lamb class for our Shropshire show, first place goes to entry 751, Clark 24178. Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. That U weighing 170. Second place, first in the junior show to entry 755, Maple Lawn Farm 2528. Brendan Pym, Bergen, New York. That U weighing 160. Third place to entry number 752, Will Webster, Wyndham, Maine. That U weighing 149.
Well, I'd made a comment yesterday that usually when we get to division drives or overall champion drives, a lot of times my mind's made up, and then every once in a while you get out here and you really have to get to work. And this is one of those situations, and it's no secret. It comes down to two females out here. I just have to decide which one's going to be champion and reserve. And we've got one ewe here that's just really love the rib shape on this female. She just has production female written all over her. She's really massive in her top. And then we've got a little younger ewe that maybe isn't quite as far along yet, and she's got show ring beauty written all over her. She's just easy on the eyes. You like her when you stand back and look at her. Both of these ewes are tremendous females. So I have to weigh in my mind what I want to put some emphasis on and pick the ones I like, and I'm pretty comfortable which way I'm going to go here. It wasn't an easy decision. This ewe's going to be senior champion. Congratulations. And reserve senior. Congratulations. Two really, really nice Shropshire females.
Open show senior champion U goes to entry number 720 out of the first class of yearling ewes, Clark 2464. Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. The reserve champion senior division U goes to 734 out of the second class of yearling ewes, City Limits 24102, Kenyon Buckland, Huntington, Indiana. Next class is January ULAMs. January ULAMs will be your next class. Sponsor of our January ewe lamb class is Sand Meadow Farm, the Nicholson family of Connecticut.
Wow, what a good class of ewe lambs to work through. When we get up here in this top 5, there's some really stout individuals up here. Well, we're going to start one that when she comes to you here in this ring, granted, she is the biggest ewe lamb in this class, but when I get this ewe lamb out here, I just can't find too many holes in her. We put her in motion. She's really good with her feet and legs. She's really good on the move. Like the bone work of this female, she handles with adequate thickness down through that top. I think that's a pretty nice one. Congratulations, you're the class winner today. Boy, the fancy one real here is the one in second. Another one that what I call easy on the eyes, just a female. Boy, you look back, she's not quite as far along as that first place ewe lamb, but what a pattern on this female. She's really elegant up through that front end, perfect down through that top. Really like the bone work on that female. She's got the extra shag on her today. And I tell you what, there's a fancy one there. She's just given up that thickness today as compared to that first place ewe lamb, but there's two pretty powerful ewe lambs in first and second. Our third place ewe lamb, really a thick-made ewe lamb, really good bone work about this ewe lamb. She gives up some length on the profile compared to those first two ewe lambs in this class. I think that's a pretty good stout individual there in third. We're going to come in fourth with one that's a lot like her, maybe not quite the thickness we've got in that third place ewe lamb, but another one that comes to you with really good bone work. She's good on her feet and legs, really straight down through her top, just a really good kind of Shropshire female. A long-bodied ewe lamb is our ewe lamb in fifth. I really like the length on this female. I like the way she carries out through her hips. She's a little plainer about her head. She doesn't have that leg oil today. It makes her appear to be finer about her bone work, so she's a little plainer in her look, but I think with her length, with her thickness down through her top, she's certainly worthy of the top 5 finish. Congratulations, gang. That's a good set of ewe lambs.
Our next class will be February ewe lambs. Our sponsor is Sand Meadow Farm, the Nicholson family of Connecticut. Placings from the January ewe lamb class. First place in open, first in the junior show, goes to entry 756, Sand Meadow 2545. Addison and Oliver Nicholson, Ellington, Connecticut. That ewe weighing 188. Second place to entry number 768, KJ Buckland 2516. Drew and Aubrey Miller, Huntington, Indiana. That ewe weighing 148. Third place to entry number 759, Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. That ewe weighing 152. Fourth place to entry 757, Porter Clark, Gilmanton to New Hampshire. Fifth, second in the junior show to 760, Maple Lawn Farm 2529, Brendan Pym, Bergen, New York. Sixth place to 762, Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. 7 to 758, Will Weston, Hancock, New Hampshire. Eighth place to 761, Will Weston. Ninth place to entry number 767, B.W. Webster, Windham, Maine. 10, third in the junior show to 769, Teresa Jarris, Cummington, Massachusetts. 11th to entry 766, Triple J Farm, Sharon and Larry Larimore, Harrington, Delaware. 12th place To entry 763, Triple J Farm, Sharon and Larry Larimore, Harrington, Delaware. 13 and 4th in junior show to 764, Philomena Jarris, Cummington, Massachusetts. 14 and 5 in the junior show to 765, Philomena Jarris, Cummington, Massachusetts. Another trivia question for the Shropshire Show. In 2005, 20 years ago, who exhibited the champion ram and first place junior ewe lamb, as well as the first place pair of ewe lambs? This was a New England breeder. Catherine got that. It was John Cross from Maine.
Really nice class, and real satisfied how this first 5 kind of surfaced to the top for me. And in terms of overall look and muscle design and structural correctness, these 5 just really fit what we need to look for in this particular class, and a real complete one that comes to the top of this class. I really like this shoe up through her front 1/3 of her body. It's really feminine and clean up through that front shoulder, really extended the way I think a female should look. Then she comes into a nice straight top line. She's really straight and correct down through that spine, maybe not quite as thick right around that tailhead as our ewe lamb that follows her in second, but I think we've got enough good things to make this ewe lamb our class winner today. That's a sweetheart. Congratulations. A little thicker made ewe lamb here in second. Really like the muscle shape on this ewe lamb. She's flat and level as could be out through that hip. Really good on her feet and legs. Giving up a notch of length, maybe a notch of cleanness up through that front end as compared to our class winner today. She's a nice fit for me here in second place. One that follows the same type and mold here in third. You really appreciate this shoe. When you look at her from the side, you don't think she's going to be as thick as she is, but once you get on top of this female, she's really thick out through over that rack, out through that hip. Just a nice fit for me in the 3-hole. Congratulations. Real thick made ewe lamb here in fourth place. A ewe that's smooth as could be. She's tremendously thick. She's the shortest of the top 4 ewe lambs in the class. We could stretch her out a little bit, make her a notch longer. I could maybe run her up a couple holes in this particular class. Real fresh handling lamb here in fourth. Beautiful profiling lamb. She doesn't have quite the gas in her tank as compared to some of them above her today. I think maybe her best days are ahead of her. Love this ewe on her feet and legs. She's really straight and level down through that top. She's just given up a notch of thickness and a notch of muscle as compared to these ewe lambs above her. She's worthy of a top 5. Congratulations.
Now ready in the ring for March ewe lambs. March ewe lambs will be your next class. This class sponsored by Chasing Champions, Kim and Cassandra Chapman. Placing on the February class of ewe lambs for the Northeast Regional Shropshire Show. First place in open, first in the junior show to 772. San Meadow 2550. Addison and Oliver Nicholson, Ellington, Connecticut. That ewe weighing 146. Second place to 771. Clark 2549. Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. That ewe weighing 145. Third place to entry number 770, Clark 2547, Porter Clark, Gilmanton to New Hampshire. That ewe weighing 142. Fourth place to entry number 785, Drew and Aubrey Miller, Huntington, Indiana. Fifth place to and second in the junior show to 781, San Meadow 2554, Addison and Oliver Nicholson, Ellington, Connecticut. Sixth place to 778, Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. Seventh place to 793, Britt Hallett, Sterling, Massachusetts. Eighth place to 776, Triple J Farm, Larry and Sharon Larimore, Harrington, Delaware. Ninth place to entry 780, B.W. Webster, Wyndham, Maine. 10th place to 783, Britt Hallett, Sterling, Massachusetts. 11 to 784, Britt Hallett. 12th place, third in the junior show, to 774, Eva DeGarbo, Ledyard, Connecticut. 13 to 777, Attica Lockup, Mandy Curtis, Attica, New York. 14th place, fourth in the junior show, to 779, Taylor Ruido, Colchester, Connecticut. And 15th place to 773, Trumbull Agriscience, Trumbull, Connecticut.
Just for females in your March Elam class, and while we have some differences out here in type and kind, we're going to sort through them, and the most complete sheep in the class is going to lead off. She's not the biggest out there. She's the most correct. I like the bone work on this ewe lamb. Love her down through her top. When you put your hands on her, she's just really straight and true. That's a pretty complete individual to start the class. A little bigger framed ewe lamb here in second place, and I really appreciate that about her. But I'd like, for as big as she is, I'd like to see a little more bone work here, a little more thickness as we carries back from her hooks to her pins. I really like the length on this ewe lamb. She's good and up on her toes. A lot of good features about this female. Just need to bolden her up a little bit to make her compete with this complete one that wins the class. Another long-bodied ewe lamb here in third place. A ewe that you like her for her overall length. She just narrows from her hooks to her pins for me today, but she has that extra length, so it's going to beat our ewe lamb in fourth today. Young lady's doing a really good job of presenting this ewe lamb in fourth. A nice correct ewe lamb. She's just given up some length compared to the ones above her. She's got a good show ring future, I have a feeling. Congratulations.
Next class is pair of ewe lambs. Pair ewe lambs will be your next class. This class sponsored by Chasing Champions, Kim and Cassandra Chapman. placing on the class of March Ewe Lambs, first place goes to entry 787, Clark 2580, Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. That ewe weighing 107. Second place to entry 789, Webster 2515, BW Webster, Windham, Maine. That ewe weighing 137. And third place to entry number 790, Attica Lockup, Mandy Curtis, Attica, New York. That ewe weighing 123. Fourth place, first in the junior show to 791, Inmate 1705, Anita Curtis of Attica, New York. So here's the final Shropshire trivia question. In 1995, 30 years ago, who exhibited both the champion and reserve champion ewe? Again, another New England breeder. Okay, so Billy Webster got that correct. It was Pete D'Ambro from Maine. Placing on the pair of ewe lambs, first place went to Addison and Oliver Nicholson of Ellington, Connecticut. Second place to Drew and Aubrey Miller, Huntington, Indiana. Third, Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. 4, Porter Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. 5, Brendan Pym, Bergen, New York. 6, Triple J Farm, Sharon and Larry Larimore, Harrington, Delaware. 7, B.W. Webster, Windham, Maine. 8, Britt Hallett, Sterling, Massachusetts. 9, Mandy Curtis, Attica Lockup, Attica, New York. 10, Will Weston, Hancock, New Hampshire. And 11 to Philomena Jarris, Cummington, Massachusetts. We are now showing for junior champion and reserve junior champion ewe.
Really good set out here in your junior champion ewe drive, and 6 females that really exemplify where the Shropshires are headed, and it's a pretty good direction when we can bring sheep to the show ring that look like this. There's 2 that jump out here I thought come out of a real competitive class. Today for me, your junior champion ewe is going to be this first place January lamb, and reserve we're going to go with a second place lamb out of the same class. Congratulations.
Our junior champion ewe goes to entry 756 from that January ewe lamb class, Sand Meadow 2545, Addison and Oliver Nicholson, Ellington, Connecticut. The reserve junior champion was second in the January ewe lamb class, 768. KJ Buckland 2516, Drew and Aubrey Miller, Huntington, Indiana. Now showing for our overall open show grand and reserve grand champion ewe. The winner of the grand champion ewe will receive the Valsing Shropshire Perpetual Trophy in memory of Alfred Litz. The reserve champion ewe, sponsored by Midnight Cheviets. The grand champion ewe class sponsored by Harris Family Farm.
Well, I hope you appreciate these females out here. It's hard to make them like this. I'll tell you that. It's any of us that have bred sheep through the years. It's hard to make these really good ones. We've got 4 really good ones out here in the ring. And I had a chance to watch the Shropshire show here last year from outside the ring and watch Alex sort through them. But it's much better to be the one out here sorting them because you really get an up and close look at them. It's been a really good, high quality Shropshire show. We could go any direction out here with your champion and reserve. I always have a theory, I guess, when I find mature females that's good, I'm going to use them. So your champion U is going to be your senior champion U. Congratulations, guys. I'm going to go reserve grand with your reserve senior. Congratulations.
Grand Champion U goes to entry number 720 out of the first yearling U class, Clark 2464, Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. The reserve Grand Champion U was our reserve senior champion U, entry 734. In first out of the second class of yearling U's, City Limits 24102, Kenyon Buckland, Huntington, Indiana. Now showing for our junior show champion and reserve. You really, we're only going to need the first place animals from those junior show. Our junior show champion U class and reserve junior show champion U, both sponsored with banners from Northeast Shropshire Association.
Again, before we select your junior champion and reserve junior champion use from your junior show, it's been a privilege to line up your Shropshire show this year. A really, really good set of sheep. The exhibitors need to be commended. If you didn't get along quite as good today as you thought, these Shropshires today better have some muscle shape to them. And these females out here that win these classes certainly have that. So congratulations to those of you that exhibited these high-placing sheep today. We'll go out here. Your junior show champion U is going to be your reserve overall grand U. Congratulations. And we're going to come right back here with, I believe, our junior champion U in the open show. She'll be a reserve. Good job, guys.
For our junior show, our champion U was 734. 734 out of class 2 of our yearling U's, City Limits 24102, Kenyon Buckland, Huntington, Indiana. The reserve junior show champion U was 756 out of the January ewe lamb class, our junior champion in the open show, Sand Meadow 2545, Addison and Oliver Nicholson, Ellington, Connecticut. Now ready to show for best headed ewe. And the Best Headed Ewe Award is sponsored by the Northeast Shropshire Breeders Association. Best headed female of the show went to entry number 777, inmate 1674, Attica Lockup, Mandy Curtis, Attica, New York. That ewe came from the February ewe lamb class. Now ready for exhibitor's flock. In this exhibitor's flock class, the Northeast Shropshire breeders offer a revolving plaque in memory of Joe Lavery for that first place exhibitor's flock. Also, the sponsor of this class is Clark Sheep Farm, Porter Clark. Placing on exhibitor's flock, first place to Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. Second place to Addison and Oliver Nicholson, Ellington, Connecticut. Third, Porter Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. 4 to Mandy Curtis, Attica Lockup, Attica, New York. 5 to Britt Hallett, Sterling, Massachusetts. 6, Triple J Farm, Larry and Sharon Larimore, Harrington, Delaware. 7, Will Weston, Hancock, New Hampshire. And 8th place to Philomena Jarris, Cummington, Massachusetts. Our next class will be Breeders' Flock. And the sponsor of this class is EB Shropshire's. Placing on the Breeders' Flock class, first place goes to Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. Second to Addison and Oliver Nicholson, Ellington, Connecticut. Third to Mandy Curtis, Attica Lockup, Attica, New York. And fourth to Britt Hallett, Sterling, Massachusetts. Now ready for Get of Sire. And the Get of Sire class is sponsored by the Webster family. placing on the Get of Sire class, first place to Brady Clark of Gilmanton, New Hampshire. Second place to Addison and Oliver Nicholson, Ellington, Connecticut. Third, Porter Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. 4, William B.W. Webster, Windham, Maine. 5 to Mandy Curtis, Attica Lockup, Attica, New York. 6 to Will Weston, Hancock, New Hampshire. And 7 to Philomena Jarris, Cummington, Massachusetts. We are now ready to select Supreme Shropshire. And this is a revolving trophy in memory of Debbie DeAmbra, awarded to that Supreme Shropshire.
I guess this officially wraps up the Shropshire show. There's no more classes. They just keep coming with these classes. It's been, once again, a really good show. I think we've got 2 outstanding champions out here. Really pleased with what we got. Your Supreme Shropshire this year is going to be your champion, you. Congratulations.
The Supreme Champion Shropshire for the Northeast Regional Shropshire Show goes to our Grand Champion U, entry 720 out of the first yearling U class, Clark 2464, Brady Clark, Gilmanton, New Hampshire. That does, I guess I might as well announce the premiers. Premier Exhibitor and Premier Breeder both go to Brady Clark of Gilmanton, New Hampshire. So if somebody from that group would come up and get your awards.